What's up YouTube, it's TF Collector here, and today I will be reviewing the Transformers Studios Series Gamer Edition Voyager class IRONHIDE. Now before we get into the video, I would like to thank everyone for the support on my last two videos. The reviews for Transformers 1, Sentinel Prime, and Bumblebee both did way better than I had expected, and the comments have been nothing but positivity, so I want to thank everyone for the support on those two videos. And with that being said, let's take a look at IRONHIDE's packaging that he comes in, which is of course the new packaging we're getting with this wave. Right up front, you can see he transforms in 28 steps, ages 8 and up. You have pictures of IRONHIDE in both modes there. Transformers Studios Series, War for Cybertron, IRONHIDE, Hasbro. On this side of the box, we have a nice profile image of IRONHIDE. You can see some more wording down there. On this side, you have the rest of this picture carrying over and a scene from the game. He is a Voyager class. As you can see there on the back, you have a screenshot from the game, War for Cybertron, IRONHIDE. IRONHIDE works with Optimus Prime to remove Dark Energon from Cybertron's core. You have some nice product images there. Once again, 28 steps, more than meets the eye, authentic Hasbro. On the top of the packaging, War for Cybertron, IRONHIDE, Takara Tomy, and on the bottom, you have a barcode. And before we get into the figure himself, he does, of course, come with his instruction booklet, Transformers Studios Series, War for Cybertron, IRONHIDE, 8 and up, a nice picture of the figure there. And on the back, you have Takara Tomy and Hasbro. And moving on to the figure, here we have Studio Series Game Edition Voyager IRONHIDE, who is a repaint and retool of the Ratchet that we got a few months back. But I think this is a pretty cool looking alt mode, and let's take a closer look at it. You can see right there on the front we have a nice Autobot logo. You can see just mostly gray and red used throughout this vehicle mode, with some orange in there and some nice molded details all throughout the figure, but not a whole lot to say about this vehicle mode. Really, just some nice molded details, not a lot picked out in paint. The wheels are pinned on, which means they roll very smoothly, which is nice. On the back, just some nice molded details, some gray down here with some more detailing all throughout this side, the same as the other side. On the bottom, you can't tell that this is a robot too much, so I think they did a nice job cleaning up the bottom, and that is the view from the top. And yeah, not a lot to say about this vehicle mode. I think it lacks some paint detailing, but overall I think that they did a good job getting this vehicle mode from the game here in figure form. And IRONHIDE here does, of course, come with a few accessories. The first one that we get is this blaster here. You can see just molded in a gray plastic. Looks pretty cool. I could not tell you what this gun was called in the game. I don't think I could have told you when I played the game what this gun was called in the game, but it's a gun from the game, and it looks pretty cool, and it has some nice molded detailing all throughout. And the other weapon that you get is this axe here. Very similar to the one we got with Ratchet. You can see some red paint up in there, molded in this dark gray black plastic here, and the hilt in this light gray plastic. And this can split, which we will talk about a little more in robot mode, but both of these can store here in alt mode. First of all, what we can do is we can take this, and you see there are two slots there, and there are two tabs there, and you can just tab that right on the back there if you want to do that. Now, one thing that I must mention is the instructions. I want you to tab it on this way, which does not seem to want to work on my figure. Oh, it's staying. It's staying. We like that. Stay. Now, for the axe, what you're going to do is you can see there are two slots here, and those are just going to tab into these two tabs right up top. So just get that lined up and tab those two in. And yeah, it's not very elegant weapon storing, but it does get the job done, and you can have IRONHIDE rolling into battle with a lot of weapons on his alt mode. And for some comparisons here with IRONHIDE, I did a lot of transforming for this segment. First of all, we have him with Gamer Edition, I think number 3, don't quote me on that, but here he is with Optimus Prime, so you can see how these two scale together. You can see they look pretty good together there. Here he is with, I'm going to pop the numbers up on the screen because I don't remember the Gamer Edition ones very well, but here he is with Bumblebee. Let's see how those two look together. Pretty cool. And speaking of Bumblebee, we'll bring in his mate. Here he is with Cliffjumper, his best mate. Or I don't know if they're best mates or not, but they're twins. They look the exact same. So there he is with Cliffjumper. And another Autobot that we've got. Here he is with Sideswipe. So you can see how those two look together. Sideswipe actually almost as long as Ironhide here. Ironhide is a whole lot bulkier though, of course. And the last comparison, probably the one that people want to see the most. Here he is with Ratchet. So you can see it's pretty much the exact same thing. Just give you turn around. You can see they did do some different molding here. Here's the side view. Here's the view from the back. Some more different molding there. There's the other side. And yeah, they both look pretty cool. And with all that being said, let's move on with Ironhide. And I think that's about all I have to say about Ironhide's vehicle mode here. I think it looks pretty good. It could have used some more paint, but overall I think it gets the job done. But with that being said, let's go ahead and transform Ironhide. So the first thing we're going to want to do is come up here. And I find this easiest if you push the hand in right here just a little bit so you can get your nail right under here and just pop this section up. That will get up and out of the way. Now what we can do is we can come here to the front, and you just want to push on each side here and here to untab these, and this section will raise up. This tabs in, that tab there goes into a slot right back there, and also these two tabs here go into two tabs here. These slots go into these tabs, and that all locks in together very nicely. So you can just get that out of the way. Now what we can do is we can untab the arms and just bring those out of the way. So you can see this tab here on the, or rather slot here on the arms tabs into this tab here, and do the same thing here. Just grab the arm, pull it out of the way like so, and we can get all that out of the way. And now we can come under here and just take these pieces, and these will untab from the legs and come down. You can see these slots will go into these tabs here in what will become his feet. And now what we can do is we can split this whole entire assembly in half. So just get your nails in there, get everything nice and split apart. Mine's wanting to fight with me right now because the camera's on. That's why. It does not want to split because the camera is on. Split. Split for the love. Split. I swear it splits. I swear it does. I've done it a million times. I promise you this splits apart. I promise you this splits apart. Oh, and we just made a catastrophe. I promise you it split apart. Let me fix that. And now that I have Ironhide here reassembled, I promised you that all this split. And now what you're going to do with it is just start to swing it all down, and it will floop into place. Do the same thing on the other side. Just swing it all down, floop it into place, and now we can straighten the legs out and work on the legs. The first thing we're going to want to do here is untab this piece. It just tabs in right there. Swing that down. Use this double hinge here to double hinge this section in. Take this piece, use its double hinge to bring it up like that. So that's how you want that to look going into robot mode. And now what you're going to do is bring this piece down, and those two slots there will go into those tabs there. Those two slots will go into those tabs. So this can take some lining up, but that should all tab in together. And the last thing to do is just pull his little toe up, and now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So just come here, untab this section, bring it down, use that double hinge that piece in, use this double hinge, bring that piece up, bring this piece down, tab it all in, tab in, there we go, bring the toe up, and then what you're going to do is rotate at the knee on both sides. Then what you're going to do is rotate at the waist, and there is the lower body of Ironhide complete. And I'm going to move up a little bit, and what we're going to do is come here and untab these pieces. You can see that tab just goes into a slot up in there. straighten that out and bring that down. Then you can bring the arm up and it will tab into place like so. Do the same thing on the other side. Just bring that up, bring that down, bring this arm up and tab it in. Now what we're going to do is just pull this whole piece forward and flip this whole piece up. Come here to the shoulders, and what you're going to do is rotate them all the way around until the tab is facing towards you. Then you want to rotate at the bicep so that the bicep is properly facing you, and bring the arm down. Do the same thing on the other side. Rotate this all the way around, rotate this, and now you have your arms in your proper positioning, and you can take these pieces and bring them out, rotate them 180 and bring them down. Those will serve as his shoulder pads. Just make sure that all rotates around like so. And now what you can do is just pop his head up all the way like that. And now we can use this whole armature section and bring it back and bring the chest down, and all that will tab in. So that is how you want that looking. And the last thing to do is come here to the back, flip these pieces inwards, and you see these two tabs here will go into 2 slots on each side. So just bring that up and tab both of those in. And with all that being said and done, here you have Ironhide in his robot mode. If I can get him to stand, there is Ironhide in robot mode. And overall, I think this figure did not turn out that bad. I think this looks pretty good, but let's go ahead and take a look at the details on the figure. We can just zoom in here, and you can see there is his head sculpt there. You can see he has the red helmet, silver faceplate, and the blue eyes, looking very nice. You can see the gray there on the chest. Mostly a red chest, the Autobot logo there in orange. Some nice detailing all throughout the figure, even down the arms. Some nice molded detailing down the legs. Overall, looks pretty good, not too shabby. I do like the shoulder pad design that they've used. The backpack, I'm pretty sure, is accurate to the game, so not too bad. The legs aren't too bulky. Overall, I think that this robot mode has turned out pretty dang cool. Now, Ironhide here does have some pretty good articulation. I do think the head is on a ball joint, but due to the design, you can't get him looking up and down very much, but he can turn his head left and right. I'm not sure if you can get a 360 due to the design of the head. I don't think you can. The shoulder pads are on a hinge and a ball joint, so you can bring that up, you can rotate them. They're also on a hinge here. If you want to press them down for whatever reason, that is an option. And the shoulders themselves are on a hinge that can go full 360. They can go in and out. You do have bicep rotation. You do have 90 degrees elbow bend. You do have wrist rotation. Bring that shoulder pad back down. You do have waist rotation, which is always very, very nice. The legs can kick forward that far. They can kick back that far. They can do a full split. They do rotate at the thigh. You get 90 degrees of bend at the knee. And if you untab the feet, they do pivot a very good amount. And they do also have toe movement up and down. So overall, other than an ab crunch, I think that this Ironhide, well, and finger articulation, I think this Ironhide has just about all the articulation you can ask for on a figure. And we can bring in the accessories, and these will store here in robot mode. First of all, my favorite form of storage, you can take this tab right here and plug it where the sun don't shine, and you can give Ironhide a nice butt gun. And when it comes to the axe, you just use that middle slot there, and it can tab in right here. So just tab that right on, and you can have some absolutely amazingly elegant weapon storing. But he can also hold all of this. If you want him to hold the gun, he can hold the gun, but you can incorporate it into his arm like is done in the game. So you can just remove his arm. We'll set that off to the side for a second. You can take the gun and just plug it right up in there like so, and he can have a gun arm, which is pretty daggone cool. And there is something that you can do with the arm, which I think is personally absolutely awesome, and I think that they should start doing this with all figures that have removable arms and pieces. Basically what you can do is open the backpack, and you can see right down in here is a tab, and there is a tab right there that will go into it. I said tab. That's a slot, and this tab will go into that slot. I cannot speak. Here you go. Just plug that right in, and you can see the hinge here will loop right around the arm perfectly, and then you can bring this right back over that hand and tab it in, and you would never even know the arm is there, which is absolutely an awesome form of storage. And you can also take the axe here, and like I said earlier, we can split it in half, take this piece, put it through the bottom of his hand. Come on, Ironhide, you can do it. Just put that through the bottom of his hand, and then take the axe back here and tab it on, and you can have him holding the axe and the gun, which makes for some very cool weapon wielding. And for a few comparisons here with Ironhide, first we'll bring in Gamer Edition Optimus Prime, so you can see how those two scale together. Mine doesn't want to stand, so I'm going to hold him there, but you can see how those two look together. Here is Ironhide. We'll put him in the middle here, and we'll do these two together because they are basically the same. Here he is with Bumblebee and Cliff Jumper, so you can see how that scales there. Here is Ironhide with Sideswipe, so you can see how they look beside each other. And last but not least, the one that matters the most, here is Ironhide with Ratchet, and you can see all the different places they did some remolding on the chest, the head, of course. Looks pretty cool. The shoulder pieces are remolded. Just do a quick turnaround of both of them here. Of course, the paint applications are different, but they did do a good little bit of remolding to this figure. And overall, I like them both. I do have to say I probably prefer the Ratchet, but I think that's just because I'm in the minority here, but I do kind of prefer Ratchet as a character for some reason. But I know that's a terrible take for most people, but I do think they both look very awesome, and I'm really happy with the way this mold has turned out here in Gamer Edition. So that is my review for the Transformers Studios Series Gamer Edition Voyager Class Ironhide from Transformers War for Cybertron. And overall, I think this figure is done pretty well. The robot mode looks really cool. The vehicle mode is very nice. But the only complaint that I have with this figure, unfortunately, is the transformation. Unfortunately, every time I have attempted to transform this guy back and forth, even on the review, as you saw, although I'm doing steps in the right order, pieces are falling off for some reason, and it's just being a bit of a hassle to transform the figure, which is never fun because you want to be able to play with your Transformers. You want to be able to transform them back and forth and enjoy it, and unfortunately, I haven't been getting that enjoyment that I seek out of figures with this Ironhide. But on the opposite side of that, he also looks very good as a robot and a vehicle. He looks great on the shelf with the other figures, and I do still think he is one of the better Gamer Edition figures thus far. And yeah, so that's about all I have to say about Ironhide. I think if I had to rate Ironhide here, I would give this figure an 8.5 out of 10. Now, I would rate the Ratchet higher, but I think I have some QC problems here with my Ironhide. But unfortunately, that does have to come into the rating, and I'm going to give this guy a 8.5 out of 10. So that is my review for Transformers Studios Series Gamer Edition Voyager Class Ironhide. I have another new Gamer Edition figure that we will be checking out on the channel very soon, so stay tuned for that. Thank you again for the support on my last few videos. I didn't expect it at all, but I love every bit of it. Thank you all for that, and I want everyone to remember, don't sacrifice the things you love for the approval of others. I'll see you with a new Gamer Edition figure soon, and until then, roll out. Peace.